Welcome to the Synergistic CX Podcast here on the CX channel, where CX professionals converge. I'm your host, Eric Brooks, and with me today are my fellow members of the CX channel team, Emil Sankov and Chris Oliveira. With us today, we also have Abdel Wahab Chaoui, Associate Director of C&O Marketing and a longtime board member of MSPA Europe Africa. Abdel is an expert in mystery shopping and market research, and he joins us today from Casablanca, Morocco. Abdel, welcome to the CX channel and the Synergistic CX Podcast. Thank you for sharing your experiences with our community. I know they're very excited to hear from you today. Before we get into our content, can you please tell our audience a bit about yourself and your work at C&O Marketing?
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Emil. Thank you, Chris, for having me today. And I'm very happy to join your community, CX channel community. So I am Abdel Wahab Chaoui. 30 years ago, I co-founded C&O Marketing in Casablanca, Morocco, with my colleague, Abdullah Omari. And our goal, our motto is to collect data in all its forms and to transform this data in insights that drive daily life of the enterprise and also strategy for our clients. In 2014, we extended C&O Marketing to Dubai, and we opened a branch with our colleagues and partners, Fedi and Dima. And to summarize my position, I sit now at the crossroads of market research, mystery shoppings, and CX studies. So over all these years, we worked in many sectors, and we have a strong footprint in retail. If you want me to summarize our DNA is see and know. So to see and to know and to help people to take right decisions, our clients.
Excellent. And for those of you out there who might want to Google the company, it is C, the letter C, ampersand O, marketing. Well, thank you. It's great to have you with us. Today, we'll be looking at our latest CX study using aspect-based sentiment analysis, known as ABSA for short, to understand what customers are saying about their experiences. Over the past 2 years, we've analyzed online customer reviews across various industries, from retail and gas stations to bars and financial services. With each podcast, we focus on a specific industry, first looking at the surface metrics of a large amount of customer feedback. We then dig deeper to uncover the exact moments that shape customer trust and loyalty. This month, we examined the fashion stores industry, a vibrant environment for customer experience. It has its unique dynamic with its various seasons and trends. While this industry has undergone significant evolution over the years due to the increase of online shopping, the traditional shopping experience is still a major channel. The United States represents one of the largest players in e-commerce and online shopping in the fashion industry, and yet despite this, about 60% of sales still happen in actual physical stores. Online fashion sales are significant, but brick and mortar still remains the dominant choice by consumers. While the numbers vary by country, the average in Europe is also not far from the US, with about 65% of sales happening in physical stores. Japan, despite strong digital adoption in other sectors, remains one of the most store-oriented fashion markets among advanced economies. Current estimates suggest that roughly 70% to 80% of clothing purchases in Japan still happen in physical stores. India is even more physical store dominant. Estimates there show that 85% to 90% of purchases still happen offline, although e-commerce in India is growing rapidly. Our study for this podcast is based on over 26,000 online customer reviews worldwide. From staff interaction, store ambience, and product quality to operational processes and service flow, this customer feedback provides a clear picture of what consistently drives satisfaction and where companies are failing their promises. Let's look at our agenda for today. We'll explore insights from our analysis of global online reviews in the fashion store industry. We begin with the study sample, ratings, and key patterns in customer feedback. Then we move into how these shape perception across the marketing mix and the customer journey. We'll highlight the critical moments that drive satisfaction in what we call our moment of truth, and use the marketing mix funnel matrix to understand how experienced drivers influence perception across different stages of the journey. We'll also show how these insights translate into a voice of the customer survey. Then we'll speak with our guest expert, Abdel Wahab Chaoui, to connect these findings with real-world experience. Finally, we'll close with key takeaways and recommendations for CX leaders focused on delivering consistent execution. As always, you can download the full industry study we're covering today by downloading this month's Synergistic CX magazine for free from our website, cx-channel.com. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever social media you use so you never miss a podcast. Today, we will focus on a few key objectives with our fashion store study. We'll explore how online reviews and ratings are shaping perceptions and influencing customers. We'll evaluate the on-site experience, from the welcome to payment, to identify what matters most and the influence of staff in each stage of the interaction with customers. We'll also examine the marketing mix, the 7 Ps, in practice, and we'll look at how each element impacts the overall experience. Our next step will be to map these results against the customer journey in an optimized way to understand where friction appears and what makes a visit to a fashion store a memorable experience. And finally, we'll identify the levers of customer experience that unlock growth opportunities. At this point, I'll hand over to Emile to walk us through the sample and what that data reveals.
Thank you, Eric. So let's dive right into it. With this industry study, we surveyed more than 2,000 places around the world, and this gave us roughly 27,000 online reviews. The places that we surveyed are relatively well balanced across the 3 major geographical regions that we're monitoring: Europe, Middle East and Africa, North America and Latin America, or Americans, and APAC. So this gave us a confidence level of 99.5% with regards to the results that we will be presenting, with a margin of error of 2.5%. So we are going to be diving into the industry of fashion stores with that sample. So first and foremost, these are the online reviews and ratings. And looking at the star rating, which is the key first metric with regards to online reviews, and this is a system that allows customers to grade performance on a star scale, typically from 1 through 5. We can see that the regional performance across the different star ratings is very consistent. More so, over 70% of the scores are concentrated at the 5-star ratings, at the 5 stars rating, which shows a consistent good performance.
Abdel, the overall ratings look positive on the surface, but as we know from the various studies that we've seen, simply looking at overall ratings can be misleading. From your perspective, what do these scores typically hide in this industry?
Yes, you're right, Eric. On the surface, the global average looks very positive, but behind all global average, there are hidden huge difference we can find between different groups, age groups, men or women, countries, and even income levels. So as retail is detailed, you need to dig deeper to uncover these realities. And there is one sentence I keep repeating to my clients: you do not sell to a percentage of customers. You sell to each customer one by one, individually. So you need to take seriously every single review in order to point out the way to the customer loyalties. So for me, each customer review is like beams of light pointing to the customer loyalty. We need to take it seriously. And don't forget, the online reviews are only the visible part of the iceberg. There is a silent majority who never comment and who leave simply the ship in silence. So pay attention to this also. So my conclusion is we need to go deeper for each percentage you see in your graphs and try to find the details by review to complete the understanding and to give the right information, the right insights, data to your customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. The averages might look good in the store, but if everything you're missing is consistently this one particular area, then there's an obvious piece that you can improve. Fantastic.
Yes, we are indeed going to dive into the details later on in this industry study. So what we can conclude here is that regional performance remains closely aligned across all star ratings, and the performance is generally very good. Moving on to the critical review response time. It is a critical KPI which measures how quickly businesses respond to critical reviews, those with a rating of 1 and 2 stars. Clearly, this KPI shows the business commitment to addressing customers' complaints and issues promptly. And what we can see here is, again, a very relatively consistent results across the 3 regions. So on a global scale, we see that more than 85% of the critical reviews fall into the critical or the unanswered category. This is the big red part of the pie that we see on the left side here. Only 12% of the reviews are addressed within 24 hours. This is the green part of the pie. And everything else is fair and attention areas. These are reviews that are addressed within 72 hours or more than 72 hours. These are relatively minimal. But again, what is important here and what we can see on this slide is a relative consistency across the 3 regions with a little bit better results with regards to responding to critical reviews in the APAC region. So if we now look into reviews with comments versus ratings only reviews, and if we focus on the reviews with comments, which normally and naturally get more responses than the reviews with ratings only. Why? Because the comments give the opportunity to respond. We still see a relative consistency across the 3 regions. Globally, close to 85% of the reviews with comments receive no reply. So this is what we can point out as the critical and important opportunity for intervention from the brands, and relative consistency across all regions.
Abdel, what is your experience with using mystery shopping to measure complaint management in retail? The online reviews here are one way to measure, but I know your company offers mystery shopping as well. How do you use that methodology to measure complaint management?
Indeed, Eric, we have a solid experience in measuring the complaint management. We use different techniques. The first one is mystery shopping. So we are using the classical analysis of multi-channel leads. So the phone calls, the WhatsApp, the chat box, all kind of communication between the clients and the enterprise, the company. But we are also using a second technique, more direct approach. We are the analysis of the recording, the audio recordings coming from the contact center, both inbound and outbound calls. So we are receiving from the client a representative sample of these calls every month. And we use a scoring grid, just like mystery shopping grid, to analyze the gap between the gap in real conversation, not in the script. So it allows us to fine-tune the complaint follow-up process based on real conversations and what's happening really, not as what is supposed to happen. So of course, we work fully within GDPR boundaries. So customers are informed that the calls are recorded for training and quality purposes. This is the second way we are doing this management, this control. It's very efficient because it helps us to lead the real conversation instead of only to check what is supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm. That's an excellent methodology there, especially because a lot of fashion stores that do have call centers and so forth are already set up to be able to do such recordings. So if they can just provide those to a company like yourself, then they can have that analysis as well. Excellent.
All right, so let's dive into the marketing mix. And here what we have done is, at this point, we are analyzing the textual reviews. And what we are doing with our aspect-based sentiment analysis methodologies, we're taking the online reviews, identifying all the topics within each review that customers talk about, and we are measuring the sentiment of the individual topic. And then we're grouping these topics across the steps of the customer journey and the elements and the aspects of the marketing mix. And that is how we are analyzing the distribution, the concentration of topics, the sentiment, and the opportunities for improvement. So with regards to the marketing mix elements, what we can see here and what we are analyzing first and foremost is what do customers talk or care about. For that purpose, we are using the 7P marketing mix, which is the extended version of the traditional 4P concept. And what we are seeing here is that 3 of the elements of the marketing mix, namely people, product, and place, together account for close to 80% of all mentions. So the overwhelming majority of the conversations and the topics and the aspects within the mentions and the online reviews gravitate around people, product, and place, with people taking about roughly 1/3 of all conversations. When we dive deeper and move from the elements to the features of the elements, which reveals what details do customers prioritize, we can see that even on that detailed level, there are 3 features which are clearly focusing a significant chunk of all the conversations. And these are the sales team enthusiasm, taking about a little bit over 16% of all review aspects in the online reviews. Second being the store ambience, and the third being the fashion assortment. So these 3 take more than 1/3 of all conversations. And then we also have 2 follow-up items, such as the superior product quality with 8% and tailored client consultation with close to 6%. So these are the top 5 features of the marketing mix that the customers prioritize, with clear priority, 2 follow-up items, such as the superior product quality with 8% and tailored client consultation with close to 6%. So these are the top 5 features of the marketing mix that the customers prioritize, with clear priority, 2 follow-up items, such as the superior product quality with 8% and tailored client consultation with close to 6%. So these are the top 5 features of the marketing mix that the customers prioritize, with clear priority, with the sales team enthusiasm during the interaction, starting from the greeting down to closing the sale. With regards to marketing mix experiences, so what we are doing here is we are taking the sentiment for each individual aspect from the customer reviews and measuring that sentiment. And the way that we measure the sentiment is in 4 categories: excellent, fair, attention, and critical. Attention and critical is a negative sentiment, and excellent sentiment is anything above 0.5 sentiment points on a scale between 1 and -1. So what we can see here, looking at the color-coded areas, is that the overwhelming sentiment is positive, with, again, the most visible experience drivers remaining people, product, and place. They attract close to 67.5% of all critical comments. People alone represent close to 40% of all negative experience references. So people is important because this is the number 1 marketing mix element in terms of distribution. And with this, within this top marketing mix element, close to 40%, it concentrates close to 40% of all negative experience references. Something else that we need to identify is process. Although process is not one of the top 3 elements of the marketing mix, it is the 4th with regards to frequency of mentions. But in this case, what we can see is that process emerges as the most vulnerable element, with over half of its feedback, actually more than half of its feedback, classified as negative. So to summarize, people and process seem to be leading with regards to frequency of the negative comments, and these are, with regards to this industry, these are the marketing mix elements that brands need to pay more attention about. So what are the key takeaways so far? Number 1, build customer trust in the critical areas, with more than 85% of the critical reviews remaining unanswered. Across fashion retail, this leaves negative experiences unresolved, and this can potentially weaken the trust in the brand's willingness to respond. Number 2, prioritize people and products. These dominate the customer attention, showing that staff interaction and assortment relevance and product quality influence the most of the purchase confidence. Number 3, strengthen customer interaction. People, as an element of the marketing mix, accounts for close to 40% of all critical feedback, showing how inconsistent support, weak communication, and a lack of attentiveness or limited product experience can quickly influence customer perception and shopping comfort. And finally, reduce operational friction. As we saw earlier, the process element of the marketing mix records the highest negative sentiment. Over half of all process-related feedback is classified as critical. As we will see later on, this is due to payment order handling, post-purchase coordination issues that interrupt the continuity of the journey. So moving on, we will see how these process-related issues offer both opportunities and create risks in the continuity of the customer journey.
Thank you, Emil. This is the end of part 1 of our 3-part episode here on the Synergistic CX Podcast. In the next segment, we will explore more details of our industry study and discuss the customer journey map and the key touch points that drive loyalty of customers in the fashion store industry. Remember that you can always find the full details of our industry studies for free on our website, cx-channel.com. And you can also follow the CX channel on LinkedIn, YouTube, or whatever social media platform you use. Be sure to press that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss our next episode.